Hey sweet friends, and welcome to my crafty channel. Today we are going to be talking all about these little pieces of fabric from the Dollar Tree, or you can pick them up like fat quarters from Walmart. But we are putting together some fun no-sew projects, so no sewing machine required, to make some really fun unique pieces that you'll love for your home. But we are using like this with a lot of Mod Podge, so I love pairing fabric with Mod Podge. But let's go ahead and get started. Please hit the thumbs up button, make sure you are subscribed, and let's jump on into it. So for the first project, I am using a planter from the thrift store just because it was bigger and nicer quality than what I could find at Dollar Tree. But I wanted to pair it with this fun little fabric pack that I did find in the Crafter's Square at Dollar Tree. I love that they're giving us like multiple designs of fabric in this same pack, and it's perfect for projects that are super simple like this one. I'm just going to be Mod Podging this piece of fabric around this planter, so I knew I wanted to paint it a coordinating color. So I decided to spray paint it black, but this was one of those like really cold icy days, so my spray paint wouldn't even dry right. It was like still tacky, so I ended up letting that completely dry and then painting it with some black chalk paint, letting that dry, and then going ahead and applying Mod Podge to the back of this fabric. While I'm not crazy about decorating with the farmhouse animals in my kitchen, I still feel like it was a really pretty design. It kind of reminded me of like a chalkboard design. I just thought it was really pretty. I loved all these little graphics with the eggs and things, so I decided to attach that all the way around. This was a perfect size strip. I didn't have to cut it down or anything. After I attached it, I covered the entire planter with a couple of layers of Mod Podge just to make sure it looked all sealed in. When this dries, I added in some greenery, a piece of styrofoam. I did pick up this greenery from Hobby Lobby. It was so high quality and just a really great price point, but you always can feel free to put in Dollar Tree greenery. They usually have a lot coming out as we go on into the year, but I feel like this turned out perfect. Put it together, very inexpensive, but this planter created the perfect pop of black, so it fits in more to like modern farmhouse, but loved how this turned out. You could use any of the inexpensive Dollar Tree signs for this next project, but I did upgrade to a Dollar Tree Plus sign. I just love this one. You can turn it around backwards and it automatically looks like you have like a nice wooden frame around it, and just love how it looks like this. So I love to Mod Podge fabric to signs. And to get the effect that I love, you have to add a ton of Mod Podge and let this dry. So what I like to do is just stick it down inside of the sign, cut it down to size, Mod Podge it inside, and let it dry. And the fabric actually gets like a different texture. It's like really hard and looks like it's actually a piece of the sign. So I just love this. I've done this so many times. But for this one, adding a ton of Mod Podge down into the sign, putting the fabric on it, and then going ahead and adding a ton more on top, letting this completely dry, and then I can decorate this sign. So after this completely dries, like I mentioned, it's just really hard. I love the texture of it. You can't even tell that this is like a really soft fabric. Just love how it turns out. And then I thought one of these small little signs fit perfect in there. It looks like it matches the outside frame like natural wood perfect. So glue that down in place, and then I had a couple of these left over like leather words, but any would work. They always are putting out different words in the Crafter's Square. If you don't like the words, you could put like a flower or something in the center, but glued these down in place. I went back and forth whether I wanted to freehand a little "and" because I wanted it to say blessed and grateful in there, but I was practicing on a scrap piece of paper and didn't just love it, so I left it as is. Let me know in the comments what you would have done, but I think this turned out gorgeous and I was so excited to use this for spring. Before we go any further, I do want to thank Ritual for sponsoring today's video. I'll tell you why they are now my go-to vitamin and why you need to try it for yourself. So Ritual actually offers dietary supplements that I have fell in love with. It was actually created by a concerned expecting mama who just wanted clean supplements without questionable ingredients, so she set out to create a clean, high-quality multivitamin. Ritual is formulated with some key high-quality nutrients to help fill common dietary gaps, while supporting brain health, bone health, blood building, antioxidant support, and third-party testing. I personally love that Ritual is designed to be easy on your stomach, so you actually can can take it without food. They will give you your money back if you're not fully satisfied, but I know you guys are going to love it. They'll deliver it straight to your door each month, so it's easy and convenient and you're never going to run out. They have very high quality ingredients that you don't have to question, making them allergen free without extras or artificial colorants. I love that they have like a minty scent, so it's so refreshing to take. You can actually try Ritual for yourself by clicking the link down in the description box, and they're actually offering 20% off if you use the code KRAFTS20. That's crafts with a K. I'll put it here on the screen, but go click the link, use the code, and you can get 20% off your first month. Thanks again to Ritual for sponsoring this part of the video, and let's go ahead and get back into crafting. I love this gray like ticking stripe fabric that Dollar Tree has out right now, so I wanted to make that like a big part of this next project. I used one of the big flat canvases. I love how they sell these in so many different sizes, so I picked the largest one that I could find. Mod Podged this piece down, added another layer, and then let that completely dry before gluing the edges around on the back. Now, a lot of my projects, I kind of have an idea of what they're going to look like as the end result, but for this one, I had no idea. I knew I wanted that stripe to be the backing, and I figured I was going to build a frame around it, but I didn't know how I was going to decorate it. But this is one of my favorite projects. It's kind of a unique, fun piece, so you'll have to let me know how it turns out. But after I glued all the edges down, I decided to go ahead and build the wooden frame around it, just using some of Dollar Tree's wooden planks. I'm also using a piece of this burlap bag. It kind of has like more of a plastic feel than real burlap, but I just needed a piece so whenever I decorate this sign, the ticking stripe isn't just too busy in the backing, so my decor pieces are going to show up. The incredible thing about these wood pieces are the two longer ones, so the 18-inch fits perfect for the top and the bottom. You don't have to cut them down at all. But if you want to add the little sides in there, or the side pieces of wood to the frame, you do have to cut them down a little bit. I like just using a miter box and saw, very easy. And then I went over these with just a tiny bit of white paint to dull down. I felt like they were showing up a lot more yellow than I wanted it to, so I'm doling down a little bit of that yellow by adding the white paint. And then I'm going to be adding a metal love sign. I found this in like the Crafters Square section, or where they have like home decor. It wasn't a part of the Valentine's, but they do have out a lot of wooden words for Valentine's Day that would work for this, so I always like to pick up those words when I see them because they're perfect to craft with all year. But to attach this frame, I did have to flip it upside down, and then I'm using some giant popsicle sticks to cut down and attach these. So I'm attaching the wooden pieces together to create the frame, and then I'm attaching the canvas to the wooden frame. And then for like $5 or $6, you already have like this gorgeous wall art put together. You could decorate this any way that you would like. I glued down the little burlap piece, and then it was time to add on my love sign. Now I could have very easily taken the jute twine hanger off of this love sign and just glued the word directly on the sign, but I wanted this to be a little bit of a fun, different, unique piece. So I thought it would be cute to kind of shorten the little twine. So I tied it in a knot, cut off the excess, and then I'm taking a thumbtack and making it look like it's hanging off of the sign. So I think this turned out really cute. It was a unique piece. I've never owned like one that I hung the sign like this, but let me know in the comments, would you have done it the same, or would you have removed the little jute twine hanger and added the word on? The only thing when you do that, you do have the leftover holes, so you would have to fill that with like hot glue and spray paint over it, or repaint the piece. But I love the color of this cream colored vanilla love word, and I feel like it just pops off of the busy background. One of my favorite ways to use the fabric is just to frame it. This is super simple, takes 5 minutes or less. The biggest problem here is just worrying about your fabric getting wrinkly, so I do like to go ahead and press it. I have the Cricut Easy Press, but any clothing iron will work if you just follow the instructions. But I just get out the 8x10 piece of paper that's in the frame, cut it down to size, and just place this back in the frame, and it adds that perfect pop of color, especially in a time where a lot of people are decorating with so many neutrals. This is a very inexpensive, easy way to add in those pops of colors for each season without spending a ton of money. If you're not finding a ton of fabric at Dollar Tree that you love, definitely check out Walmart. I love looking in their fabric section. They have like a whole row of fat quarters, but also on like end caps they have like neat seasonal fabric rolls already pre-cut that I love, love, love. So I found this little bunny pattern. I thought this would be perfect for springtime and Easter, obviously. So I decided to cut down a piece of cardboard to use as a pattern so I would know how wide I need this fabric to be, and then I'm going to add Mod Podge to attach this around the base of each candle. I had pink candles, but I decided to attach it to the purple ones just for a little bit of contrast. I didn't know if I wanted to Mod Podge it in the middle or the bottom. I decided to go to the bottom and then just glue a piece of ribbon around the top of piece of the fabric so you couldn't see where it was cut. But I feel like this is a super simple, easy project, but it adds those fun colors because I love bringing in all of the fun pastel colors when it gets closer to Easter. I actually found this tiny little gingham like pink and white ribbon from Hobby Lobby. They always put out like the best ribbon for each season, and this was actually on sale, so it was very comparable to the Dollar Tree one. You actually got more on the roll, so I love picking it up there. Just put this around the top, hot glued it down in place. You could add any charms or any of the wooden like laser cut pieces that Dollar Tree has. I'm sure they'll be putting out some of the tiny little Easter wood pieces that you could glue to the front, but I feel like these were really fun dressed up and just think they turned out really cute. Thank you all so much for checking out today's video. Leave in the comments down below, how do you like to use scrap pieces of or small pieces of fabric like this. Thanks again to Ritual for sponsoring this video. Remember, you can receive 20% off your first month if you go click that link down below and use code CRAFTS20, that's crafts with a K, 20% off your first month. Thanks again to Ritual for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy crafting. Bye.